All right, let's talk about teenage plastic surgery. More and more kids are getting surgery, and this is the time they start looking at doctors.
The number of teens undergoing the knife or putting themselves under the knife is increasing. We have a nose job right here. Let's see, the number has actually tripled over the past years.
Yeah.
A lot of this is about self-esteem, by the way, but perhaps we should talk about how young is too young.
Yeah, Dr. Frederick Lukash has been voted one of America's top doctors by the Consumer Research Council of America. He has served as an instructor of surgery at Harvard University. He now works in Manhattan and Long Island. Dr. Lukash, nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
There's your book, by the way.
There's my book.
So, teenage plastic surgery, it's a new book on the market. Do you advocate it, or are there concerns?
Both. I advocate it when it's appropriate. I'm against it when it's inappropriate.
Well, what's inappropriate?
Inappropriate is child is too immature, unrealistic expectations, conflict between parents and child.
Doctor, is it ever appropriate for a teenage girl to have breasts enlarged, say 17 and under? Is that ever appropriate?
Well, first off, under the age of 18, the FDA and the American Society of Plastic Surgeons has a very specific policy against breast augmentation for purely cosmetic reasons. If there is a reconstructive reason, say an asymmetrical breast, one is large, one is small, then you can go
Can they
forward
find
and
a
do
doctor
that.
who will do that for them if they really want it?
You know the answer to that. You can always find someone someplace. But my book, The Safe and Sane Guide, is a reference for parents, teachers, coaches, anyone who deals with teenagers with body image, appearance issues that are manifesting themselves as behavior issues, to try to get a handle on how to approach the subject.
You brought some before and afters. Let's take a look at this, because you mostly do nose, ears, and breast reduction, right? This nose. I mean, she looked like she had a pretty nose beforehand.
She had an okay nose beforehand. That's actually one of my daughters.
Oh,
so
she looks very pretty.
So I know what it's like to be a parent.
How old do you suggest getting a nose job?
I would suggest when they're physically mature and emotionally mature. I have done them as early as 12.
Wow.
When there has been a significant emotional component, because the nose has been so outlandishly large with respect to the face. But usually it's happening at 16, 17 years of age, which is moving towards the transition period between high school and college, where you want them to go off to college with a new look, a new start, feeling good about themselves, and not having someone make a judgment about them at that time.
So cosmetic surgery is appropriate when, let's face it, kids are being made fun of for something, something physical about them.
Now, I'll tell you how my life became a lot easier. I don't break things down into reconstructive and cosmetic anymore. I look at it as quality of life surgery, because I'm a structuralist. Where adults are coming in for rejuvenative surgery, so you would say a facelift, it's cosmetic surgery. But how do I determine if ears stick out too far, whether that's reconstructive or cosmetic?
Now, this young girl, she had her ear done, right?
Correct.
Yes. And what was wrong with her ear?
Well, the ear was a cup ear, which meant that it had no support and it was hanging down, and one was obviously different than the other, so there was a clear anatomical difference. And what did she want? Balance and proportion.
Do you ever do liposuction or Botox on teenagers?
I would say rare to never.
Well, thank goodness.
But there is a time and a place.
Every person is looked at individually. What if someone had an injury to their head and you had to counterbalance it?
Dr. Lukash, thank you so much. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, Teenage Plastic Surgery is the name of the book. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Have a good day, New York.
Wendy Williams is next.